Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. There is a terrific new film coming your way called Red, White, and Blue, and I'm here with one of the stars, John Boyega.
Yeah, man.
John, why is it important for us as an audience to know a man like Leroy?
It's a new perspective and an interesting decision he made at such a young age to decide to leave your life as a scientist, as a father expecting a child, to join the police force in order to motivate change in your community is a big choice to make. And for us to have almost a character study of this in the form of a slate of fantastic movies, this gives us an insight into a culture, into stories, people, and individuals that we can relate to, but at the same time, things that we would have never considered or heard. And I think that is the role of art in general, just to expose us to different ways and different narratives.
You mentioned that Leroy straddled two professions, one being this, I think, a biochemist, and then he goes into becoming a
Right.
police officer. Which one of those professions would be a better fit for John Boyega?
Oh, you know what? Even though this is like, no, but officer. Yeah, I can do officer. I can do officer.
You looked sharp when we had the uniform on. I will tell you that the
I
clothes
mean,
make the man.
I think it's more about community relations. Understanding people's fears and understanding their reservations, handling situations in the right way, speaking to people from the communities in the right way that is relatable. I feel like those skills can come into it, and if I have to rock it, we can rock it.
While we're on this subject, there is a great moment in the movie where Leroy goes back into his old community. I mean, he meets some resistance from the locals when they see him. But I'm
Right.
wondering, when you started achieving your success, when John Boyega went back into his community, what type of reaction did you get from people that knew you as a kid growing up?
I always tell people this: familiarity. All right. You don't just get a big role and disappear. You create that narrative once you disappear of, oh, he's come back. What you do is never leave. So now it's like, oh, John's here. Okay, cool. John comes back the next day. Okay, cool. After a while, it's like, John's here. He's about. And, Peckham is somewhere that I love. We still have a normal house there. Like, so we go back there once in a while. And also, for my African food that I bring back to my house, I always go there to shop. Some of my aunties working at, in the Rye Lane street. So I'm actually about, like, people see me there and sometimes be like, oh, boy, are you cool? Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just here. So that's the trick. Don't leave.
Watching this, it made me think that because nobody wants to admit their prejudice. And
Mm,
sometimes when they see it, it makes them uncomfortable.
mm,
And what's brilliant about this movie, it's kind of a slap in the face to the audience because it's like, this is going on, you're just not paying attention to it.
mm.
How important is it for us to have a discussion about prejudice?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think, in a world where to to take in what's happening, all the issues in the world, we sometimes mentally have to simplify it. So it's easier on us to comprehend. So we rather say, well, they think like that and they think like this, than say, well, actually, it's actually much more complex because it sometimes is too much, to take in. And I say that this dismantles that. This enables you to look at true perspective, look at a man's journey as a human being, put yourself in his shoes, feel the feelings he feels, see the love between his family, and relate even as a human being. And I think those stories are important because they spark dialogues in which we don't have to be dealing with the defense, which is always away from the goal, which is for us to have relations and understand each other. And I think in having these films where we sit down and it's not about us talking back, the film just shows us and we have to be quiet to really get it. It allows those conversations to be had in a much more peaceful and fruitful way because you can always jump off of the content.
Leroy has an awakening of conscience, so to speak, as the movie goes on, where he finds his own voice. And
Yeah.
this past summer, when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was going on, we saw images of you in London. And I don't want to say it's when you found your voice, but it was important for you to take a stand and let your voice be heard.
Mm.
How empowering was that moment for you?
Yeah, I think it was very empowering, but it was just in a strange way. I think a lot of it goes over my head in a sense because that day was so spontaneous. So the effects of it not being so spontaneous just makes things all hazy. But for me, essentially, this is conversations I have behind the scenes all the time. This is the way I speak when I'm with my friends and we're debating, and this is how I am. So essentially, it was just kind of like, oh, the world hasn't seen this side of me, and for them, it's gonna be like, oh my God, we didn't know he would, Whereas for me, it's kind of like, oh nah, guys, yeah, I've been feeling this way, but this is the first time, obviously, in that situation, spontaneously, I was like, given a chance to speak, and I just said what was important to me. And there was loads of other speakers there on the day as well, loads of other people that spoke from personal experience, and families who have lost loved ones, due to this kind of oppression. And it was very, very good to meet those individuals and share that.
Well, I'm going to give you a chance to speak about your director. What does someone like Steve McQueen give you as an actor?
Chance to be dope, chance to actually elevate in your skill set as an actor. And I'm talking about your technical skill set, portrayal of roles, character beats, when you really have to portray high level emotion. He allows magic to happen. But it kind of reminds me of if directors had a style, like if J.J. Abrams was, Iron Man, Steve McQueen has this kind of Doctor Strange, just believe in the art, like just believe in it, and like let's, because I'd ask him sometimes and be like, what do you feel I should do? He'd be like, I don't know, what should you do? You know what I mean? He'd be like, what should you do with this scene? And he'd be like, you're the artist, like make a decision. And that in itself, it just changes the flavor of your experience working on it. It's really, really cool.
Well, cool is what your performance was. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The movie's called Red, White, and Blue. John Boyega. This is Scott Orlin. Until next time.